Imagine a world where beliefs are so powerful, they become reality. These ideals were what drove World War II into brutal international conflicts. The Axis powers, Germany and Japan, were up against the Allied forces in many ferocious battles unlike any the world had ever seen. Amid this chaos, however, revolutionary aircraft carriers appeared. These cities at sea, as they were called, dominated many aerial and naval battles, changing the tides of the war. To this day, aircraft carriers remain the most important ships in the US Navy, the strength that guard America from both the skies and the sea. During World War II, the Allied forces, especially America, faced another problem. Their bombers and other attack aircrafts had limited fuel ranges and couldn't reach faraway targets such as Japan and parts of Germany. Their solution to this problem was aircraft carriers, which could bring attack planes to the shores of any country in less than a week and act as floating military bases. Moreover, these carriers were and still are considered sovereign US territory, meaning an attack on them was an attack on all of America. Anyways, aircraft carriers allowed planes to take off, strike down their targets, and swiftly return to the carriers before they themselves could be shot down. According to the University of Navarra, carriers were used in cavalry roles, supporting hit-and-run runways to disrupt enemy operations. Even now, aircraft carriers remain formidable naval bases, capable of getting to and destroying any threat to America. Returning to World War II, Japan was the USA's main naval adversary. The USA had a total of 33 light and fleet cruisers, while Japan had 18 far more advanced cruisers. Despite America having more carriers, Japan's technological advantages put them ahead. This was shown in the devastating attacks on Pearl Harbor in 1941. For context, Pearl Harbor is a US base in Honolulu, Hawaii, which holds many of America's ships in the Pacific. This attack greatly weakened the US Pacific Fleet, but became a turning point in the war, strengthening America's resolve and leading to the pivotal Battle of Midway. As the sun rose on June 4th, 1942, Japanese bombers were intercepted by American aircraft as the skies over the Midway turned into turmoil. Bullets were shot on both sides as pilots fought for their survival and their nations. Back on the sea, the USS Enterprise, Hornet, and Yorktown were preparing to launch an ambush on the unsuspecting Japanese carriers. However, they first had to find the Japanese naval fleet, so they sent out many reconnaissance planes to scour the sea and find the enemy. The battle raged on for hours before the Japanese fleet was found by a pilot who ended up getting lost and winding up near the fleet. The remaining bombers took off from their respective carriers and set course for the Japanese Navy. Due to the fighting erupting in the sky, the Japanese fleet was disoriented, letting the bombers get through their defenses. Soon after, the bombs began to fall. In mere minutes, Japan's prized aircraft carriers, the Akagi, Kaga, and Soryu, were engulfed in flames, with their remaining aircrafts being destroyed and many of their crews being dead. However, the US did not anticipate there to be a fourth carrier in hiding, which swiftly launched torpedoes and sank the USS Yorktown, who was already crippled from the Battle of the Coral Sea. The crew tried their hardest to save the ship, but the damage was already done. The USS Enterprise and Hornet, set on avenging their sister ship, launched all of their remaining planes and torpedoes towards the Hiryu, which hit and sank the supercarrier. With all four of the carriers sunk and most of their aircrafts destroyed, Japan's hopes of victory was sealed. This was a much-needed win, as it was a turning point in the war for the Pacific. Moreover, this victory showed aircraft carriers' usefulness and importance, solidifying them as the best naval vessels. Also, believe it or not, the Battle of Midway was not merely aircraft carriers fighting, as it was America's resolve to provide freedom and liberty to the future generations that were truly on the line. All in all, the importance of the Battle of Midway cannot be underrated, because without it, you or I might not possess the freedoms we have today, and would have to live under the oppressive rule of the Axis powers. However, aircraft carriers didn't stop evolving after World War II, as they had forever solidified their place in the Navy. So over the years, they grew larger, more powerful, and more capable. Don't believe me? Well, see it yourself. In World War II, the USS Enterprise was 809 feet in length, while the new USS Gerald R. Ford is over 1,100 feet in length. However, size isn't everything, as let's talk about an aircraft carrier's greatest weapon, their aircraft. The new F-35Bs are more advanced than any other fighter jets in history. The jet can reach speeds of up to Mach 1.6, which is greater than the speed of sound. Moreover, they're equipped with laser-guided bombs and stealth coding technology, which allows them to fly into almost any airspace without being detected. Finally, its highly advanced sensors granted the capability to avoid any attacks coming its way. Now compare that to an average World War II fighter plane, which could go 400 miles per hour on a good day, which is less than 1/3 of the F-35. To finish, the USS Gerald R. Ford can stay at sea for over 20 years because of their nuclear power, which old carriers could only dream of. Basically, aircraft carriers nowadays can keep America safer than ever, either through their aircrafts taking out any threats in the skies, or the ships themselves destroying any dangers America might face from the seas. Throughout time, aircraft carriers have proved themselves. In World War II at the Battle of Midway, or even today where they continue to guarantee national security for all of America. After the attacks on 9/11, the USS Eisenhower was stationed outside of Afghanistan, with sailors and pilots ready to risk their lives to fight if their nation commanded them to. Yet, it's the brave crewmen who spend months away from their families who truly deserve our appreciation, because without them, aircraft carriers couldn't run as smoothly as they do now. Thank you to all our sailors and military members.